It was a bright and sunny morning when Jacob woke up. He was excited, but also a little nervous. Today was his first day at his new job. He had prepared everything the night before: his clothes, his shoes, his bag. But there was one thing Jacob still wasn't sure about. How was he going to introduce himself to his new coworkers? Jacob sat at the edge of his bed, taking a deep breath. Okay, he thought to himself, I can do this. He stood up, looked at himself in the mirror, and smiled. He'd practiced his introduction in the mirror many times before, but now it felt real. He grabbed his jacket, put it on, and took one last look at his watch. It was time to go. Jacob stepped out of his apartment and walked down the street. The sun was shining, and everything felt new. But in the back of his mind, he couldn't stop thinking about his introduction. What should he say? How should he say it? Jacob arrived at the office building, and he could feel his heart racing. He walked through the doors, smiled at the receptionist, and said, Hi, my name is Jacob. I'm here for my first day. The receptionist smiled back. Welcome, Jacob. We're happy to have you. Jacob felt a little better. It wasn't so hard, right? He followed the receptionist's directions to his new office. Along the way, he passed a few coworkers. They all looked busy, but Jacob knew he had to introduce himself soon. He reached his desk and took a deep breath. His boss, Mr. Carter, walked up to him with a big smile. Hi, Jacob. Welcome to the team. Jacob stood up, shook Mr. Carter's hand, and said, Hi, my name is Jacob. I'm excited to be here and to work with everyone. It was simple, but Jacob felt good saying it. He was nervous, yes, but it felt natural. Mr. Carter smiled and introduced Jacob to the team. Everyone, this is Jacob. He's new here, and he's excited to work with us. Jacob looked around and met his new coworkers. Hi, I'm Emily. Nice to meet you, Emily said. Hi, I'm Jacob, Jacob replied with a smile. He felt a little nervous, but he was happy to meet new people. The introduction was going better than he had expected. Nice to meet you, Jacob, said Mark, another coworker. Jacob smiled and said, Nice to meet you too, Mark. It felt good to make the first step. By the end of the day, Jacob was feeling more comfortable. He had introduced himself to a few more people, and each time it felt easier. Hi, I'm Jacob. It's nice to meet you. A simple introduction, but it was enough. Jacob realized that sometimes all you need is a smile, a friendly greeting, and the confidence to say, Hi, my name is Jacob. The next few days at work were busy for Jacob. He was learning new things, meeting new people, and settling into his routine. But there was one thing he knew for sure. He had to get to know his team better. After all, they would be working together every day. It was important to make good connections. One afternoon, Jacob was sitting at his desk, reviewing some files, when Emily walked by. Hey, Jacob, she said with a smile. Are you free for lunch today? We're all going to the cafe down the street. You should come with us. Jacob hesitated for a moment. He wasn't sure if he should go. He still didn't know anyone very well. But then he remembered how nice everyone had been so far, and maybe this was a good chance to get to know them better. Sure, Jacob replied, smiling. I'd love to join you. The team walked to the cafe, chatting and laughing along the way. Jacob felt a little nervous at first, but as they sat down and started talking, he realized it wasn't so bad. It was just like any other conversation, but with new people. So Jacob, Emily said, tell us more about yourself. Where are you from? What do you like to do in your free time? Jacob paused for a second, then smiled. Well, I'm from a small town. I like hiking, reading, and sometimes playing video games. The team listened closely, nodding and asking more questions. Jacob felt like he was slowly becoming a part of the group. I love hiking too, Mark said. Maybe we should go on a hike this weekend. Jacob's eyes lit up. Yeah, that sounds awesome. Soon, everyone was talking about their favorite hiking spots, their hobbies, and the places they wanted to visit. Jacob felt more comfortable with each passing moment. He could see that this group was friendly and welcoming. During the conversation, Jacob noticed how his new friends introduced themselves. It wasn't just a simple, "Hi, my name is Jacob." They talked about their interests, their experiences, and even funny stories from their past. It made Jacob realize that introductions didn't have to be perfect. What mattered was being yourself and sharing a little about who you are. As they finished lunch, Jacob felt a sense of belonging. He wasn't just the new guy anymore. He was starting to become a part of the team. They had shared their stories, laughed together, and made a real connection. Jacob smiled, feeling more confident than ever, and he knew that the next time he met someone new, he wouldn't be as nervous about introducing himself. He had learned that introductions were just the first step, but getting to know someone was where the real connections happened. And that was something Jacob was now looking forward to, making real friendships. The days passed by quickly for Jacob. He was becoming more comfortable at work, and his team was starting to feel like a second family. But Jacob was still a little unsure about how to introduce himself in different situations. Was there a right way? Was he supposed to use certain words or phrases? One afternoon, while taking a break, Jacob sat with Emily and Mark. They were talking about the weekend plans, hiking, and maybe going to a movie. Jacob listened closely. Then Emily turned to him and said, "Jacob, you seem like a nice guy, but how do you introduce yourself when meeting someone for the first time?" Jacob paused. He had been wondering about this for some time. He didn't want to say something awkward or strange. "Well," Jacob started, "I usually just say, 'Hi, my name is Jacob. Nice to meet you.'" Mark nodded. "That's a good start, Jacob. It's simple and friendly." Emily smiled and added, "But sometimes you can say a little more. For example, 'Hi, I'm Jacob and I just started working here. It's nice to meet you.' That way, people know a little bit about you." Jacob felt a little more at ease. It seemed so simple when they explained it that way. Introducing yourself didn't have to be hard or stressful. It was just about being polite and sharing a bit of who you are. As the week went on, Jacob started practicing different ways of introducing himself. He tried saying, "Hi, I'm Jacob. I'm new to the team." And even, "I'm Jacob. I love hiking and playing video games. What about you?" Each time, the conversation felt easier. He didn't have to force anything. It just flowed naturally. One day, Jacob walked into the office, feeling a little nervous. He was meeting someone new, Sarah, the manager from another department. He took a deep breath, smiled, and said, "Hi, I'm Jacob. It's nice to meet you." Sarah smiled back, shaking his hand. "It's great to meet you too, Jacob. How are you settling in?" Jacob felt his nerves begin to fade. The conversation was flowing just like it had with his team. He asked Sarah about her role and the work they did in her department. She told him about the new projects they were working on and how she loved her job. Jacob found himself feeling more and more comfortable talking to new people. By the end of the week, Jacob realized something important. It wasn't about having the perfect introduction or saying the right thing. It was about being open, kind, and showing interest in the other person. And with each introduction, Jacob was making small connections, building his confidence, and finding his place in the team. By the end of the month, Jacob was no longer the shy new guy. He had made friends, learned a lot, and become more confident in his role. His introductions had become second nature. Whether he was meeting a client, greeting a new coworker, or simply chatting in the break room, Jacob knew just what to say. And each time, his smile and openness made people feel comfortable. One afternoon, Jacob found himself sitting at his desk, thinking about how far he had come. He thought back to the first time he had walked into the office, nervous and unsure about how to introduce himself. Now he could say, "Hi, my name is Jacob. I'm excited to be part of this team." And it wasn't just about the words. It was about the confidence he had gained along the way. As he looked around the office, he realized something else. An introduction isn't just about saying your name. It's about making a connection, opening a door to a new conversation, and starting relationships that could last a lifetime. The simple words, "Hi, my name is," were the first step to building those relationships. And Jacob had learned that all it took was a little practice and a smile to make a big difference. If you enjoyed this story and learned something new today, be sure to hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe for more tips on how to improve your English and build your confidence. And hey, leave a comment below. How do you introduce yourself in English? Let's share our tips and experiences.